features with Livingston and Tangela too, and our host Vincent Van Dahl, and he brings it to ya. Creature features and all creatures and all features, and the creature gonna get you tonight. You better not turn out your bedroom light. He'll grab your head and give it such a bite. You may even die, just from a fright. You ain't nothing gonna be, baby. You ain't nothing gonna be alright. Cause the creature gonna get you, baby. Don't get you tonight.
Livingston, fathom this. Ernest Borgnine, Walter Pidgeon, Ben Gazzara, and even the lovely Yvette Mimieux, all in the same film about a deep-sea diving rescue.
Sounds like another implausible storyline for yet another ludicrous film.
That's right! No, that's not right. But first, the salutations. Good evening and welcome to Creature Features. I'm your host, Vincent. The man with little enthusiasm for the blockbuster films we feature on this very program would be my otherwise unopinionated butler, Mr. Livingston. And the lovely little flibbity-gibbet over to the side would be my daintily dangerous housemate, the winsome Miss Tangela. And we have a fantastic show in store just for you. First, as previously hinted, we shall present for your viewing pleasure a remarkable film from 1973 entitled The Neptune Factor. This film contains an abundance of adventure and numerous sea monsters, while coupled with a cornucopia of mystery and suspense. What's more, this film is one of Tangela's most favorites since she personally requested it. I see. Tangela says that she actually requested the Poseidon Adventure, and we received this film instead. She also adds that we should stop ordering all movies from Wish. In any case, I like this film, and I hope that you will as well. And who might be our guest tonight, Mr. Livingston?
The Undertaker. Again.
Oh, wonderful. He is so informative. Not to be confused with wrestler Mark Calloway, our Undertaker guest is a real Undertaker who not only continues the fine tradition of Victorian-era mortician work, but knows a good deal about these old gems we screen as well. So don't go away for this to be another night of underwater and undertaking fright right here on Creature Features. Stay tuned. Mr. Undertaker, did you know that on Channel 9 at this very moment is Monty Python's Flying Circus, and the description is as follows: a look at a program called Blood, Devastation, Death, War, and Horror, featuring a man who speaks exclusively in anagrams.
Oh,
sounds like a good...
Looking forward to seeing that one. My favorite one is the row of Undertakers carrying a coffin.
Oh, that's right. No, that was definitely a Monty Python thing. Welcome to Creature Features. It's going to be another fun night because we've got a great guest, a great film, and a great audience. That would be you. And you're the great guest.
Thank you.
This is The Undertaker. You may have recalled him from previous episodes. What was the last film we showed when you were on?
Oh, boy. I can't remember the film. I remember when I was on.
It was an old prune.
Right. It was a sci-fi movie. I know
was
that
it?
much.
Right. No, it's some old prune. This is not as old.
No.
Neptune Factor. This is 1973.
And Ernest Borgnine's in it, and he did
right.
the Poseidon Adventure in 1973.
Right, but before that, he did McHale's Navy.
Yes, he did.
And then he did, what was that movie he was in that made him famous?
Marty.
Marty. right. So he's a good thespian.
Yes, he was.
Right. No, we got Walter Pigeon
Walter Pigeon.
and Yvette Mimieux.
Oh, yes, from the
Yeah.
Time Machine.
She just died recently.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, no, but she had a long life, 80 years old, 80-something.
And quite a career.
Right. So anyways, we're going to talk about your career. We're going to talk about undertaking. We're going to talk about hearsts. We're going to talk about all the other stuff and, of course, the film. So what do you
Wonderful.
think? Should we get it started?
Yes.
All right, off we go to the Neptune Factor. Don't you dare change it to Channel 9 and watch Monty Python. I guarantee you will be funnier. That's a lie. See you soon. There's an awful lot of dialogue in this film.
Talkie, yes.
You know, there was a stage a decade where the films, it seemed like dialogue was everything. It was like script writer's paradise.
Yes, it was.
It's like, more words, please, sir.
And I think the actors would have appreciated more action in an action film.
It's an action film, exactly. It's supposed to be an action film, but maybe it's like a mouth action film.
Oh, definitely.
Right. Anyways, we'll get back to that in a moment, but Undertaker. So for people who have never seen you prior, how would we describe the Undertaker other than the obvious description of an Undertaker?
Well, I am the champion of the undead. I'm undead myself.
That's nice.
Yeah, I am the purveyor of the perverse, the manager of the macabre,
All right.
and the editor of the eldritch world.
And you fit all this on your business card?
Certainly, because it has two sides.
No, you use a tiny font.
That too.
Right. So, Undertaker, how does one get into undertaking?
I was born into it and I died into it. So it was a family profession.
A family? No, it would have to be a family profession, right? I mean, It's not. Is there like a mortuary college?
There is.
Oh, all right.
There's a clown college, Santa Claus college,
Of course.
mortuary college.
There needs
yes.
to be a mortuary. More people die than go to the circus, I believe.
I believe that's true.
Right,
Some people
right.
die at the circus as well.
And so your daily driver is a hearse.
That's correct.
You know, I almost bought a hearse once and I did not. Do you know why?
Why?
I did not like the smell.
Oh.
And it was not the smell of corpse and death or anything like that. It had this strange plastic smell that I've only seen emanating from coffins, low-budget coffins.
True.
Right.
My hearse is named Patty. She's very reliable. And if you...
There's a pun there.
Is there?
Yes.
She just looked like a Patty to me.
Right.
Stopping
It's a
in
paddy
traffic,
wagon.
Well, of course she is. Black. Well, she's not a black Mariah. She's a blue-gray Mariah. But yes.
Very nice.
Yes,
And how
in
many
service.
of the bereaved can you fit in with the body?
The bereaved. Let's see. I only have a front seat, so I could
that's
fit
it.
2 small people in. And if somebody
small
wants to
people,
lie
right.
down with the coffin, that would be 3.
They could sort of keep it in place.
Correct.
Right.
I've
But
actually-
only one coffin fits, right?
That's correct, unless it's unfortunately a small person's coffin.
Oh.
I've been in the back of that hearse, and when the door shuts, you can't get out. There's no handle on the inside.
Well, I suppose it'd be a waste of money for a dead person to try to... Oh, this is a zombie.
True.
All right, we're getting silly. What do you say we get back to this film?
Certainly.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about the actual undertaking process.
Very good.
All right, off we go to the Neptune Factor. Please don't go away because things are going to get fun, right?
I hope so.
All right, so
I
do
do
I.
remember some fun scenes.
All right, off we go. Back to Neptune Factor. See you soon.
This is Livingston. and you're watching Creature Features. Not now. Stay tuned. This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
Livingston, do you know that we could drill our own water well using this device for sale in TV Guide?
We have a well.
But we could have another.
Why?
What if this one runs dry? What if she takes an hour shower? Right? No, Deep Rock Manufacturing in Opelika, Alabama makes it, and then we can send $1 just for information. I wonder if they have a website. We'll see. Anyways, welcome back to the show. It is time for us to do some mail because he's standing here and he's holding mail, and you sent it to us, so the two combine and it becomes the mail segment, right?
Right.
Right. What do you got?
Janice Shepherd from Scotland.
Janice Shepherd from... Oh, I like the way she spells Janice. It's with a U. Never seen that. All right, is that Shepherd?
Sheopard. Well, if you look at the
Oh, all right, right.
description.
Now I see it. All right. Hi from a shire in Scotland. My husband Tom and I love your show. As Tom is now disabled, he spends most days watching or catching up on old creature feature films. Today we watched The Bat, a great old black and white. You like that film too, don't
It's
you?
a classic.
Right, right. Would love to see more shows like this if possible. Many thanks, Janice. Well, thank you, Janice. Send our regards to Tom. And we've got a couple of good old black and white films coming up, right, on the schedule. I
Yes.
noticed this, right? So
Yes.
maybe these two. And they're where? Scotland?
Scotland.
Scotland. Bloody well, Scotland. How are they receiving us in Scotland? They must have a large aerial on their roof.
They have a computer.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know how that works, but next up, Mr. Livingston.
This is from Buda, Texas.
There's a place called Buda, Texas.
Different spelling.
There is, but it's still Buda, Texas. And this is Gina Rentero. We've heard from Gina before.
I don't recall.
Oh, no, she always gives us these decorative envelopes. Right, look at this. Yeah, she put lots of stamps on. I don't know. Oh, look, it says, hi, Tangela. Hi, Mr. Livingston. And look, she sketched Tangela. Look at you. Tangela's not as dainty as you drew her, Gina, but, oh my goodness, look at this. Vincent Van, I look like a glam rock star, don't I?
Indeed.
Isn't that great? Does this look like me? You think so? She put no letter. All right, no letter needed. She drew a photo. This is nice. You know, this is the way I used to look.
Yes.
And I
Long ago.
kind of look like that now too, as well, right?
Somewhat.
Very nicely done, Gina. Thank you. Next up, oh
We have
my
a
goodness. My goodness,
We
Mr.
have a package
Livingston.
from Reno, Nevada.
Reno, I like Reno. Did we win at the slots or something?
I don't recall.
All right, well, let's do this. Why don't you put it on her lap and give me the letter?
It's heavy.
Oh, look at this. Nice letter.
In script.
It is in script. Oh, my goodness. This is a long letter.
It's a book.
All right. Oh, here's some German. This is German. This is for you to read.
I thought it would be.
All right, well, hold on to this. Let me read this part first.
All right.
Dear Vincent, Tangela, and Livingston, we are Arno and Claudia from Reno, Nevada. We want to say how grateful we both were to find your show. My hubby told me stories about watching creature features since he was 9 years old, living in Fairfield, California. Staying up late to see Bob Wilkins smoking a cigar on Channel 2 KTVU. Now he's 55 years old, and he has been collecting retro movies for the last 30 years, such as adventures, westerns, sci-fi, and many more genres. especially horror films. We love everything about your show. Vincent, your host role is impeccable. Did you hear that?
Yes, indeed.
Don't be sarcastic when you say yes, indeed.
Never.
Tangela is adorable, mischievous, and wicked. A great combination for an evil little girl. Livingston is always attentive to details. You just have to be a little nicer to sweet Tangela when she comes to share her terrifying toys. After some family deliberations, we want you to enjoy some special gifts that we are sending you with this letter. For Vincent, rocker boots.
Oh, dear.
Those are awesome.
These
They're, you cannot find these anymore.
These are incredible.
These are actual rocker boots. What size?
Let's see. Give me a moment.
All right. For your pagan nights of fun.
10.
10? 10 European.
No, European 44.
Oh, no, that sounds right. Livingston, it took us a little longer to decide on a personal gift that we think you might enjoy, so the leather cap is for you. A leather cap?
So it would appear.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a leather chapeau before.
I don't have any.
Show us. Oh, there we go. Yes. No, that's so you. He has something similar made of tweed, right?
Tweed.
Very nice. All right, here we go. I like it.
Do
you look like you're ready to ride a bicycle or a horse, or
I'll have to look in the mirror
go
later.
bet at the races. All right, for the Mistress Tangela, the cute skull pajama is the perfect outfit for your dark and naughty nights. We also think the little skull incense holder is a good choice for your voodoo practices. When you're upset with Andrew, yes, the needles are included. P.S. Since my husband discovered you on YouTube channel, we watch your shows every day after work. And on the weekends, all day, it's Creature Feature Marathon. Well, we've got some dedicated people in Nevada. Let's see, yours truly, Arno and Claudia Kuntz in Reno, Nevada. Very nice. This is so nice. Oh, what?
Oh, Vincent.
Oh, it's port. I love port.
Yes, you do.
No, it's not, and that's a good one too. I've had this one.
Sandeman is quite nice.
Very nice. All right. Well, I will save that for a special occasion. Thank you so
It is a
much.
Founder's Reserve.
This German letter, what does it say? You don't have to read it. Just tell us basically the gist.
She was raised in Austria. Her mother comes from Germany, Pirmasens in the Pfalz. She wanted to know what Bundesstate that I come from, and Bavaria. And
He should work for the United Nations because he could translate letters.
and he hopes that we all get together sometime, because that would be very special.
For Oktoberfest.
But well, not there. She wants to come here.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, for Oktoberfest. We have it here too.
We have it here.
Is that
as
it for
well.
mail?
That's it for mail.
That is it for mail. If you would like to send us mail of your own, go to hellocreaturefeatures.com and you can find out how to send us a nice package of gifts, or how to send us an email, or how to send a large sum of cash using an armored vehicle and armed guards, right?
No.
All right, well, the other two are true. So we're going to get back to the Neptune Factor, and when we return, I will have the Undertaker in that seat instead of the Underachiever. See you soon.
Hello, this is Mr. Livingston. It would appear that I have been tasked yet again to deliver another plea intended to separate you from your hard-earned money. This program now has its own channel and associated apps that allow you to watch the entire Creature Features library and much more. Entitled Creature Features TV, this is a system that works much like Netflix or Hulu. Besides early access to all the new Creature Features episodes, you'll also have access to many other offerings and some archival episodes of the original show with Mr. Bob Wilkins. You'll also have exclusive access to a new Creature Features show that will be introduced soon, and will not be available anywhere else. Your generous but modest monthly subscription fee will also greatly assist in the continued production of the show, so there's that as well. Miss Tangela has asked me to inform you that if you subscribe to Creature Features TV, she will be sure to create more dancing videos just for you. I think not. So please visit www.creaturefeaturestv.com to learn more. Thank you for your time.
We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, I could not live in a submarine.
I've been in a submarine, but it was moored.
Right, no, so have I, and that's fine. But imagine going into all that water. No, it's not for me. It's like being in a coffin, is it not?
It is very much like being in a coffin. The water would be the dirt. Very difficult to dig yourself out of a submarine.
Exactly.
Coffins are fairly easy to dig yourself out of if you know how. We're
going to get to that. But first, welcome back to the show. We are watching the Neptune Factor with the Undertaker, 1973. Not a bad film. So, earthquakes, undersea earthquakes. I mean, shouldn't they call that a water quake or a sea quake or an ocean quake?
Right. Actually, they have a evacuation route along the Embarcadero in San Francisco if there's an earthquake, because they would have a tsunami.
Tsunami,
That's
right.
it. It's
Right,
a tsunami.
but no. So on the Earth, you have an earthquake, and under the ocean, you have an ocean quake.
That's correct.
Or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a geologist, but I
Just as
could have been.
devastating.
I could have been once, maybe, never. I don't know. Enough about this. Let's talk about undertaking. So somebody dies, and they come to you. No. Somebody dies and their family comes to you and says, please undertake this person of ours.
Correct.
What's the next step?
Well, when I started, we would put somebody in what they called a carrying basket and have a small ceremony in the parlor of their house.
The wake.
Exactly.
Right, because you don't want to bury a living person.
Right. That's why they buried people with a rope in their hand and a bell above where the tombstone was, just in case.
Even if they had a wake.
Even if they had a wake.
Oh, my goodness. Well, isn't the purpose of the wake, though, to leave the body until it's so obviously dead?
Right.
Before you bury it?
Right. And when I started, there was no formaldehyde, so the wake had to be within 3 days.
Oh.
Or 2 days if it was a hot day.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, I'm sure you've noticed, like in the Poulter Mansion, right by the front door on the porch, there's a window that goes all the way down to the porch.
Right.
What is that window? It's called a coffin wake, or a coffin window. And
I
that's
never knew
how they
this.
brought the bodies in and out of the parlor during a funeral service.
Why not through the front door?
Because it was considered bad luck, because the spirit of the person might stay in the house through the front door. Also, when they brought the body out of the house, it had to be feet first.
Oh.
And when they had the ceremony or the wake, they had to put all the pictures of the family, lay it down so the spirit of the person would not inhabit the photos. They had to put black crepe over the mirrors.
This sounds like Middle Ages type tradition.
It
And
certainly
you're talking
does.
about Victorian age. They would do this.
People
How
still do it,
intriguing.
however.
Really?
The traditions don't die out very quickly.
Well, I know some places they cover the mirrors for some reason.
That is true.
Right.
They put curtains in the room where the funeral is happening so the spirit would not escape during the wake.
Yeah, spirits, I mean, if they can't go through a curtain, how do they go through a wall?
That's training, actually.
Oh.
They have to learn that. There is a book
There's
that
a
they get in
science
the
to all
afterlife.
this. There must be a science. There must be, like, scientific measurements taken. All right, what do you say we get back to the undersea world, and then when we come back, we'll get back to the Undertaker world.
Wonderful.
All right, off we go. Neptune Factor 1973. Don't miss the next part because I hear it's good, maybe.
Yes, Vincent, this is Verna from Santa Rosa, California. I just logged on to your Creature Feature TV app, and I love it because you have closed captioning on it. I'm very happy to pay that $7.99 a month for it. Keep doing the good job. Bye.
It's Creature Feature Night, and you are with us because you're wonderful. More wonderful than me. We've got the Undertaker. It's not too often we have an actual Undertaker sitting in that chair, so it's nice to have you. On this film, quickly, Neptune Factor. Do you know that they had 40 consultants, technical people, give them advice on this film?
Very surprising considering the quality of the film. It's enjoyable, but I didn't see...
But is it technically accurate?
I would hope so.
One would think if they spent that kind of money on consultants.
It was a big budget film.
Right. Unless the consultants are like friends of the director, friends and family.
Oh, yes.
You know what? You could come consult and you could make a little bit of money.
Added the budget, I see, yes.
Yeah, who knows. Anyways, we were chatting over the film, and you mentioned this whole thing about Victorian death photos.
Right.
Tell me all about this.
Well, back in the era when those were common, it was so expensive.
What is it?
Well, it was so expensive to take photos that sometimes the only photo they had of a family member was in death. So they didn't want to present a photo of somebody in death. They tried to make them look like they were alive. They would use something to keep the eyes open, change the expression, which they did with a piece of wire.
And you said that they made like a frame to hold them up.
Yes. They also used that for living people so they wouldn't move and blur the photo because they had long exposure.
Right. Now that makes sense. But why did they have to worry about a dead person moving?
Not, moving as far as gravity pulling them down.
Oh, right. Because dead people can't stand like a Gumby doll.
Right. And generally, when they took those type of photos, there was a living person sitting with the dead person, and they were very close together so the living person can prop them up.
Oh, that must have smelt horrible.
Considering all the lighting they needed in the studio, I would say yes.
Goodness. So when did this atrocity stop?
It stopped around the time that they had high-speed cameras, so probably around the 1920s, actually.
All right, 1920s. No, they replaced that with gangsters, with Tommy guns.
Correct.
Interesting. All right, well, what do you say we get back to this film, and when we come back, I want to hear about this thing about you being a minister.
Certainly.
All right, off we go back to the Neptune Factor. Please don't go away, because if you do, I'll be sad. He probably won't be, but I'll be sad. So try to keep me happy, eh?
Hello, this is Mr. Livingston. It would appear I have been tasked with requesting you to help our show financially by visiting our Patreon page. Your generosity will help us keep Creature Features on the air. With only a few dollars a month from you, Your kindness will allow us to continue creating new entertainment for your viewing pleasure each and every week. And if you have the desire to give more, you might even receive a gift from Tangela. I think not. Please visit the website below to learn more. Thank you.
Angela, I'm confused. Why do I have to wear a blindfold and be tied up just to get a beard trim and a haircut? Huh? I've never had to do that when I go down to the village. They don't do that. They sit you right down and is this something new that they do in Paris? What's going on? I don't get it. Could you tell me?
Not today.
Hello? Tangela, could you tell me what's going on? Ow!
What is going on with the special effects?
It looks to me like they filmed in a fish tank.
They did film in a fish tank. It looks like the tank down at the restaurant, the seafood restaurant, and they just put a little submarine.
Hey, maybe that was in the budget to take everybody out to eat, and they filmed at the same time.
No, I think you're onto something with a budget. I think they ran out of money.
Considering that they spent it all on consultants, they probably did.
No, they probably spent it all on Yvette Mimieux.
I would.
No, but that's not passable. Special effects. Even me, who knows nothing about special effects, can tell that was poorly done. All right, we're going to wrap up this film soon, and hopefully they found some more money to do it right. But we are with The Undertaker. If you're just joining us, I don't know why. You should be watching Monty Python or something. But you were telling me that you're an ordained minister.
That is correct. I've been an ordained minister for several years now. I'm a member of a religion called the Flying Spaghetti Monster, which is an organized religion, everyone. And I was ordained as a minister. I can legally marry people, and I can legally bury people and give them a service. So I get you on both ends, folks.
So this marrying of people, how many times have you been married?
Myself, we won't go into that, but how many times have I married people since...
Oh, as a verb.
Yes,
all
as
right.
a verb.
No, all right. I
yes,
understand
a half a dozen so far.
My goodness.
And some of them have been in cemeteries
Is
at night.
spaghetti served at this event?
At one of them, one was a luau, one was a barbecue, one was a buffet, one was Italian, of course, and they were all outdoors. And I try to encourage people to get married in their local cemetery because the atmosphere is quite lively for such a cold and dreary place.
Right, but your spaghetti thing,
yes.
I would think that someone ordained under, what's it called again?
The Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Religion.
Correct.
Would require at least one bowl of spaghetti for any religious event, does it not?
It does, and people wear colanders on their heads to signify their devotion to the spaghetti monster. And when they have events, they wear pirate outfits because it's related to piracy.
You're a bit of a silly man, are you not?
I've been told that I am. I kind of look silly from what people tell me.
I would think you would be like part of some more traditional religion, like, I don't know, those guys with the bald heads.
I wish I could tell you I was, because they wouldn't have me.
Oh, but the spaghetti
right. I didn't think this up. This is an organized religion.
All right.
But they accepted me, and I am a minister in that religion.
And are you good at cooking spaghetti?
Fair.
All right.
I'm better at making sauce.
All right. On that Prego note, let's wrap up this film. Neptune Factor, 1973. And we come back, we'll have Tangela sitting right here. So when you see those credits roll, don't do the thing where you go, good night, goodbye, because Tangela will be here, and you know what she'll do if they leave before she arrives? She'll be angry. She'll take down names and numbers and addresses, and you might get a gift in the mail. So stick around. Let's finish up this film, and when we come back, we're going to find out what The Undertaker's doing next, right?
Certainly.
All
Yes,
right.
I will.
Off we go to the end of the Neptune Factor. See you soon.
This is Livingston, and you're watching Creature Features. Stay tuned.
And that brings the submarine lid down on the Neptune Factor. What'd you think, love? She doesn't like the happy endings. You know, if the blokes in the Sea Lab thing had died, she would have been happy. No, that's why she is. Anyways, not a bad film, not a great film, but you know, it was the 70s. Things were different back then. They would stick plastic submarines in fish tanks and call it special effects.
I know I did.
No, that's what it is. All right, well, what do you got going on next, Mr. Undertaker?
A ceremony coming up very soon at midnight, actually.
A midnight wedding, I take it.
Correct.
Nice, nice. And what type of person gets married at midnight?
Well, a night owl, of course.
Right.
But somebody who likes the night and doesn't want to be seen in the daytime, like myself.
Oh, maybe they have a skin condition that prevents the sun.
Right, like the skin bubbling when the sun comes up. That does happen.
You know, I've seen this happen before. It's a grisly sight.
It is.
Good. So you keep him busy with the undertaking. You
Very
keep him
much.
busy with the officiation.
That is true.
Right. And you watch Creature Features in your spare time, right?
Oh, spare time. I'm embalming people while I watch Creature Features.
That's the best thing. You know, I think a lot of our viewers are embalming people as well as they watch our show. I wouldn't blame them if they did.
It's a fun hobby, actually.
Right. So how do we find out more about Mr. Undertaker?
I have a Facebook page, everyone. Dig the Undertaker.
Just go to Dig the Undertaker, and anywhere on the internet we can find you.
That is correct.
Dig the Undertaker. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Undertaker, for coming to see us once again.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope to see you again soon. And you stay out of trouble. Be careful. Don't bury someone who's not dead. It's illegal.
I've heard that.
Right. As far as you guys go, thank you so much for watching our program instead of Monty Python on Channel 9. You know, they are funnier than us. But we're newer. Slightly. Somewhat. She is. She's fresher than Monty Python. I may not be, but she is. But well, join us next week because we're going to have another guest, another movie. I don't know what's going to be what, but it should be fun. And don't forget, we love you. See you next time. So, Mr. Undertaker, you know, the fact that you do weddings is rather amazing to me. I'm thinking once I finally marry her off, maybe you'd officiate the wedding.
I don't think so. But when the time comes, I would be happy to officiate at your funeral.